Hey folks, Chocolate Yoddah here, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And I'm basically at the end of my broadcast day. I'm ready to go to bed, but I just wanted to jump on and quickly share an idea. It's very late, so I doubt anyone's out there, but, that doesn't matter because everything is archived. So, today is August 10th, 2023, and it's very, very late or very early, depending on your perspective. So, I was on the phone earlier with my best bud, my man, my mellow, my consigliere, and we talk probably 3 to 5 times a week. And we cover all sorts of topics, goofy stuff, serious stuff, life stuff, women. Although I have had nothing to talk about on that topic in quite a while. But one of the things we talked about tonight is the idea of getting old. And, if the persistent rumor about death is true, then that means I have less birthdays in front of me than I do behind me. And that isn't necessarily a cause for concern. It just is what it is. But what I started talking about was the idea of how most of the time it would seem that the end is not particularly graceful. And I reminded him of a conversation that I had with him about this talk that Kevin Smith did. He's the guy that brought us Clerks and, Mallrats, several other films. And in my opinion, he is one of the best public speakers that I've ever heard. And one day he talked about how his father died. And he was headed to the hospital, but he didn't get there in time. His father died right before he arrived, but his brother was in the room with their father. And basically he said that when he walked up to his brother had a look on his face that he had never seen before. And his brother turned to him and said, "Kevin, Dad died screaming." And he went on to talk about, his father was a good man, did everything right, never abused his children, always loved his wife, always paid his taxes, always got to work on time. And how awful it is that even a man that good could die screaming. And what that made me think about is how quickly life goes by. And in particular this. One day, you're going to be sitting on the couch, watching television, and you're going to be older. How old, I can't say, but older. And you're going to struggle to get up off the couch and then go lay down and go to sleep. And then the next day, you're going to try to do the same thing. You're ready to go to sleep. It's time to get up off the couch, but you're not going to be able to do it. You don't have the strength. So that means that one day you won't be strong enough to get yourself up off the couch. And the unfortunate thing is that you won't know when that day comes until the next day. And why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this for the same reason that I said it to my friend. While you can dance, dance. While you can, what's the politically correct way to say this? Make whoopee, do so. While you can play with your children, and for those of you with young children, please remember, they're only little for a short time. So, and you don't get that time back. No matter how much money you make at the end, you don't get that time back. So spend as much time as you can with your loved ones. The people that you can't see often, reach out to them. Tell them how much you care about them. It goes a long way, and it's part of what makes life beautiful, in my opinion. So just remember, one day you're not going to be able to do all this stuff. And that's when people will sit around and saying, what are we going to do? We're going to put them in a home? Because once you can't ambulate, that's normally when the decision is made that it's time to put you in a home. I have a deal with my son to prevent that from happening, and it's a pretty severe deal, and I'm not going to share it with you. But I hope never to wind up in a home. It just seems like a warehouse for dying people, and, I did my best to keep my mother out of home. It worked. I don't know if, it's a permanent solution, but it's been working well for 9 years now, and I'm grateful for that. So that was it. That was my quick thought I wanted to share with you. Again, the persistent rumor is that this party ends eventually. So I plan not to take any day for granted. I never say same stuff, different day. I think that's a horrifying saying. I don't relate to it at all, thankfully. And I'm going to do my best. I won't always succeed, but my goal is to do my best to make sure that every day is as full and as fulfilling as possible. Because one day, the days are going to run out. And I know that's kind of dark, kind of sad, but at the same time, it's just reality. Wow, a couple people joined on Wisdom. Few people. Truly Julie, Stevie, Will Scott. Thank you all for joining and listening. Unless somebody jumps on the mic, I'm going to wrap up. But again, the idea is, seize the day. And I know, carpe diem, since the Dead Poet Society, everybody learned that phrase in Latin. But I think it's a worthwhile pursuit. The days are numbered, according to the persistent rumor. I have no proof, but this is what everybody tells me. The end is coming. And at 59 years old, statistically, I have far fewer birthdays in front of me than I do behind me. And I want to make sure that not just the birthdays, but all of the days in between count for something. And some days it'll just be about paying the bills, but I want to try and eke out as much happiness and fulfillment as possible until I can. All right, so that's it for now. Peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.